So I just recorded an entire video and erased it. I meant to, I guess, but I don't know. I have to start over. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I started on a new endeavor yesterday, which I kind of wanted to talk about because it is new for me. I decided that when I was debating between points or calories that I wanted to count calories. I haven't done it for a long period of time or a long term the way I have with points. And even though I do understand the preference for points, especially because it does help to train people with poor eating habits to make better choices, I also kind of think that I'm in a place where I know that points don't necessarily work for me, even though I agree with the program and I like the program. I feel frantic when I'm working with points. It may just be a sheer visual thing that when I see how many calories I can be eating, because it's a number in the thousands versus points, which is, I think that I was usually allowed around 32, 35 points. That did not sound like enough. And for someone who is coming from a place where my problem is really binge eating and emotional eating, it's more about quantity. I guess the disease is more about quantity. So if that's all it takes really is to see a bigger number when it comes to an allowance, hey, I'm going to work with the issue instead of try and work against it. So I'll see how that goes. One thing that's going to make me a lot more successful is my method. I had heard a lot of good things recently in recent months about Livestrong.com. I know that it is a free website, but in order to carry it with me all the time and have it at hand, I did pay for the application on my BlackBerry. I believe it's $2.99, and it puts it right there on my front screen. I can just access it immediately, type in what I've eaten, see where I stand, and it gives me a tool that I will realistically use. I can't tell you how many notebooks I have piled up in a room somewhere, in drawers, just everywhere, that I write grocery lists on that had at some point been intended to write down my calories and activity or Weight Watchers points, whatever stage I was at. There was a day where I said, this is going to be the notebook that I'm going to start writing things in, and it never happened. I don't even know that I finished a full day ever doing it that way. So as you all know from recent videos, I am more of a gadget person, and technology is my friend. So I have been working with that application in my phone. I went to the website, I created my profile. I can at any time go on the website and type in what I've eaten, or on my phone, and it's all synced up completely. So everything's already there, whether I'm using my phone or the website. And so far I really love it, and I think the mental aspect of it is so huge. I know that binge eating is about basically trying to drown an issue with food. And I don't want to create more in this. You know, when it comes down to it, am I disappointed that I did not lose enough weight or any weight for my sister's wedding? Yes. Am I going to use that as yet another reason or excuse to put myself basically right back into my own prison? I could. That's a choice I have to make. So that's one of those things that I think makes this so important, is saying how I feel, saying what I'm doing, what are my intentions. It makes it real that somebody is looking at this right now and somebody's seeing me talk about this. It is so hard to feel like a failure when I know that I'm not. When I know that even just intending to do the right thing. It's a little more than buying a workout DVD and feeling like you're automatically better for it, even if it's never been unwrapped. It's different than that. It's the mentality of knowing that I could do major damage to myself and I'm not. So just for example, if you haven't done this yet, I encourage you to go to the website of any of your particular vices. Even the ones you didn't enjoy but you still somehow did to yourself. Go to that website. So for example, I could go to McDonald's. It's hilarious to me to think that almost every time I ate there, I was disgusted by the food. It didn't even taste good to me, but I would somehow wake up the next morning and think, if I do nothing else today, I should go get McDonald's. And that is what helps it kind of helps paint a picture for me of what I was doing to myself. It was like I was punishing myself. You can actually go to their website, and I think it's called Bag a Meal, and I can put the individual items exactly how I would eat them, what I may or may not have ordered together, and see what the calorie and fat content is. Just see what I was doing to myself. And the fact that I'm not doing that, even if it's not helping me really lose weight immediately or giving me instant results, I can see what I was doing to myself and know that by choosing not to do that, I'm better for it. Indulging is one thing, but I am almost frightened by the fact that I know that my vice is looked at and perceived as just a lack of self-control and gluttony. And there isn't, if I were drinking this much, or if I had a hard drug problem, I could probably check myself into just about any facility and say, I am killing myself. You need to help me. But there's almost no place I can go where I can say, I am eating myself to death. Someone needs to help me. I could probably just get laughed at for that. So, but that's the reality. I'm slowly killing myself by self-medicating my own insecurities and problems with food. And I can work out all I want to, but when it comes down to it, one trip through a drive-thru can undo every minute of that workout and then some. And I know better than to believe that it's just as simple as don't do it, because it's not. And if you're watching this right now, you probably completely understand. So I've had a lot of support from you guys. I'm gonna do what feels good and better, and I am not going to put heavy deadlines on it. My husband has been amazing, and I think that he realizes that there's a lot about this that he needs to learn. And the contest I made for myself is still on. That poster is still on the fridge. I am still going to reward myself with those very same things I promised myself. I'm just not going to force it. I'm going to look at it as those are milestones for me to get to, maybe to help me break through a plateau when I reach one, or to help me not feel like it looks so bleak when I've lost about 25 pounds and I have so many more to go. That's what I'm going to do. But really what this is about is getting my life back and knowing that the last 6 months have not been wasted, because all this time I have been trying to condition myself mentally to be stronger to complete this. And even though I feel like I'm just getting started, and I guess I don't want to call it starting over, because I feel like I've been working so hard at this in my mind, even just making silly little tiny choices that maybe aren't showing on the scale, but they are in the long run going to help me.